Hey guys, Lynn with the National Cat Groomers here, and we'll get started in just a few minutes. I just want to make sure that everyone is able to hear me and they can, that my stream is going live in the right place, which I believe it is. So give me just a few minutes and I will get that for you. Oh yeah, the link is definitely live. This is super, super exciting. So just give me 1 or 2 more minutes. Pop in, say hi in the comments, and I'll be with you guys momentarily. I'm just gonna have to do it on my normal screen. Sorry, we all know how technology can be. Am I right? Hey guys, oh wonderful. So I can see you guys popping in the comments. This is great. Give me just a moment and I'm gonna share it, the link in just a couple places. This is going to be interesting because it's not letting me share my link. Oh, you know what? A lot of you guys are joining me already, so I'm super excited. And I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And if you are not able to catch all of tonight's live, do not fret because this is going to be recorded and it will be up here in the National Cat Groomers Facebook group, Facebook page once we wrap up. So you'll be able to see everything. So let's switch over. Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to see you guys. And so tonight we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts on products for grooming cats. This is something that we get asked a ton. And I really want to make sure that I'm answering a lot of your commonly asked questions that we get about what products are appropriate when you're grooming a cat. So if you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments below, and I'm going to try to answer as many as I can. So I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay and that you can see me okay. If you just pop in the comments that you can hear and see me, that way I don't have to have a duplicate audio by trying to check it myself. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So, oh, wonderful. Okay, sorry, there's a little bit of a delay for me when I see your guys' comments. I really appreciate your patience with me. This is kind of a new streaming program that I'm using specifically for this video series. So tonight is the first video of a 3-night video series. So I'm super, super excited. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So I want to talk to you about what you need to consider about products. And I want to talk about why you need to consider cats differently when you choose those products. You don't want to be just using any dog grooming or dog safe product on a cat. Cats process specific ingredients and products very differently than dogs and humans do. So you will always want to look for products that are specifically marked as safe for cats. This is not just for cat safety, but it's also a liability standpoint for you in your business. So remember, we're not just groomers, and obviously we want to do the best things that we can for our clients that are coming in. But as a business, we have a different liability than us just using a product on our own personal animals. So I want to talk about products for our grooming businesses that fall into 3 categories: bathing, finishing products, and general cleaning. So we need products in our salon or mobile or house call cat grooming businesses that are efficient, give us beautiful results, and of course are safe for cats. So for bathing, so I've got a lot of my products that I can kind of show you guys and go over with you guys. So we want to use gentle degreasing shampoos to remove the excess oils, the clumpiness, the flaky dandruff that we see on cat coats. Yes, that dandruff is not indicative of dry coat, but it is in fact oily skin. If you didn't wash your own hair for 3 months, you would get dandruff too. Oily, dead skin cells flaking off and just making a mess of things. Gross. A degreasing shampoo is going to remove all the excess oils and flakes. You want to be sure that it's not too harsh on delicate cat skin. It's also very important to use your fingertips to help scrub into all the nooks and crannies that those excess oils will especially accumulate in, like the crooks of the legs, the paws, and the sudtail region, aka the base of the tail and up along the cat's back. For the most part, we use Chubb's bars as our primary cat shampoo. These were designed by the president of the National Cat Groomers, Danielle German, to be formulated as not just safe for kitties, but also to give us that beautiful show quality finish. I can hear you guys now, but Lynn, I don't groom show kitties. I only groom pet cats. That's what I say to you. Doesn't every cat deserve to look and feel beautiful? Show cats are meant to be in the peak of health and natural beauty. And this is definitely possible to get with both house and show cats. Absolutely possible. Okay, so Chubb's bars, fantastic shampoo. It does take a bit of a knack in order for you to get the high quality results that I know that they can produce. So I keep mine in a little soap dish like this, because you don't want your Chubb's bars to just sit in water because they will disintegrate. So I keep mine in a little soap dish. This is what they look like. So I've obviously used mine a good bit. I have to order some more. I probably should have done that before this video. But anyway, so this is the one I'm using right now. I really love the unscented, which obviously is kind of the original scent, I guess. And then I also really, really love creamy nutmeg. But what's really nice about Chubb's bars is that the scents are not overpowering and they're not going to leave a heavy perfume left behind on the cat's coat. It's really kind of what you enjoy smelling while you're bathing. So they always have different scents and varieties coming out. And so that's personal preference. So the secret to Chubb's bars, I'm going to give you the secret, is that you have to use more water than you think that you will need. Liquid shampoos are a totally different ballgame. So with bar shampoos, you have to get the coat totally saturated all the way down the skin. And I mean super, super wet. I don't want to be, moving my cat around and all of a sudden there's like sections of dry coat and I'm trying to scrub with my shampoo. No, you have to make sure you use more water in the beginning before you apply the shampoo bar. Whether you use the shampoo bar directly onto the coat, which is usually what I do, or you can also slice off the shampoo into individual portions. So it is soft enough that you can easily cut through it with even really kind of a butter knife, but a sharper knife is really better. Just, be careful. But that way you can cut them into individual portions, or you can also grate it. And they also just came out with a new little bag called the Chubby Saver bags. And oh my God, they are lather machines. You have to get one. So mine is being washed in the other room, so I don't have it. But all scented Chubb's bars are safe for cats. The scent is really personal preference. I like the creamy nutmeg and the original unscented. I also like they have sugar scrub bars, which is what I'll use for those extra dandruffy cats. The cats that haven't seen the bottom of the food bowl in a couple years, those super large extra kitties, extra scrubbiness, but they're still super, super gentle on cat skin. Other shampoos that are safe to use, a lot of the hypoallergenic shampoos, meaning those that have little to no noticeable fragrance, So these are limiting additional ingredients that could cause a potential allergic reaction. Some medicated shampoo. So I've got a couple with me. I really, really like Le Pooch makes a metacetic shampoo. Really, really nice, super, super gentle. And it smells like green apples, which I'm like obsessed with. So I love the metacetic. Zymox Itch Relief is also a really nice product that can be used. So the key with using medicated shampoos or any treatment style shampoo is that I want to use a deep cleansing shampoo first. So I'll usually use my degreasing Chubb's bars first because I want to get the skin clean. These medicated shampoos are designed to treat the skin. They're not designed to do a deep cleaning too. So you have to kind of give them the opportunity to really get to where the problem is. So I usually will scrub nice and clean and then rinse thoroughly, and then I'll apply the medicated shampoo, and they usually need to be kind of let sit. So I'll kind of do that. Sometimes I'll follow up with a hypo shampoo. This is usually just because I really want to make sure I'm getting all those nooks and crannies, and I rinse really, really thoroughly. There are some other degreasing and cleansing shampoos available. However, you should always check with a company to make sure that they are labeled as safe for cats. So there's some heavy degreasers out on the market. We've got Groomer's Goop, Le Pooch's F&T, and then there's also one by Jarob called the Pre-Cleaning Cream. This is the one I happen to have right now. I've used all three, and they are the heavy hitters when it comes to degreasing. However, you shouldn't be needing to use these strong degreasers on every cat in every groom. However, you should be able to get the cats on a good grooming schedule. And then I can stick to my gentler products for each appointment. And I will say that Chubb's Bars is one of those gentler products, but it can certainly cut through the greasiest of cats for me. But like I mentioned, there's kind of a knack to it. So if you aren't getting those results, you can send me a message or check out the Chubb's Bars Facebook page because they have multiple videos on how to bathe with them. Remember, it's that knack. And if you have a favorite cat shampoo or a favorite Chubb's Bar scent, make sure to add it in the comments below. So another thing that we get asked about all the time is conditioners. Honestly, I have never had a situation where I found a conditioner to be helpful in my cat grooming salon or while I'm grooming cats. I've even tried the closed, open, closed method that I've seen discussed. And to be honest, it just doesn't give me the results that I'm looking for. I want a clean, light, and airy, fluffy coat. Conditioners tend to weigh down cat coats, which can make it so much more difficult to get them thoroughly dry and combed out. Now, I have a handful of instances when I work with show cats where I might tweak each groom to the environment that they're in. And in some cases, that may include a super, super, super diluted conditioner rinse as my last step. But keep in mind that these cats are being bathed a minimum weekly and usually several times the week leading up to the show. So this is a very, very different situation to most grooming clients that I'm going to see every 4 to 12 weeks, sometimes more than that. So there are times where I will, if I'm going somewhere where there's a lot of static in the air, or I feel that my cat, that particular cat's coat is just feeling kind of a little crunchy, like because of where I am, I usually keep kind of a variety of products with me when I travel for show. So sometimes I can always like super, 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 super dilute and just see if that makes a difference. But overall in my cat salon, I do not use conditioners on my cat clients, and we don't recommend it for most cats in the grooming salon. Next, I want to talk about finishing products. So for cat hair, you really want to be paying attention to any product that leaves a residue behind on the coat. So things like conditioners, detanglers, some colognes. Because cats are fastidious lickers, anything left on the coat could be ingested by the cat after they leave your salon. So I do not use any detanglers because I found that clean, degreased, and completely bone dry cat hair will slide knots and clumps out so much more easily. Trust me, it is all in your prep work. Give me one sec. I see you guys have some questions coming in, and I'm just going to kind of pause my spiel so I can kind of address a couple questions as far as the bathing products. Let me just go back real quick. So Rachel, your comment is that you deal with a lot of cats with dry skin. Now, are these cats that have medical conditions? Because if they're not, it's not dry skin. It's dandruffy, dead, oily, flaky skin. The only time, and I've maybe seen it twice in 15 years that I've seen a cat with true dry, scaly looking skin, is they had a severe medical condition and they were being treated by, this was when I had some meetings with a veterinary dermatologist. I've never seen a cat that didn't have a severe medical issue, and even a lot of medical issues will cause dandruff, but it's flaky, oily skin. So as I mentioned a little earlier, if you didn't wash your hair for 3-4 months, you would also get dandruff, but it wouldn't be dry skin. It would be oily, thick, flaky skin. Oh, it's nasty. So we just go by that we need to degrease and we need to get all of that gross stuff out. And so it's most likely, because you're talking about seeing dry skin, it is most likely dandruff, which in this case is actually oily skin. It is not like dogs. We do not see dry skin in cats. Nicole, I had kind of touched on a little bit about, so Nicole says, what about the point that conditioner is supposed to close the cuticle to prevent matting? Would that be the same as cats as in dogs? I tried using a conditioner lightly on a Persian kitten who had tons of undercoat, hoping it would help. However, she got oily very quickly afterwards. I agree with you. And that's part of the thing is, and I had this conversation with one of our certifiers, maybe like a week or two ago, because we were talking about it, because every once in a while that closed, open, closed, or conditioner first technique will come up in the grooming groups. And I see people who like it for dogs. And, so obviously it comes across, do you want to try it for cats? And to be honest, I've never seen it work for cats. I've only ever seen it make the coat heavier, make the coat being weighed down. I've tried tons of different products. When we had the National Cat Groomers School, and before Chubb's Bars, really, we would get so many products, so many lines, so many, companies reaching out and saying, hey, we really want to market this as cats. Would you try it? And a lot of them came with conditioners, and we tried all different stuff. We just did not get the finished results that degreasing the coat with no conditioner did for us afterwards. So even though at a molecular level, at a very scientific level, it sounds like it would work, in practice, I have yet to see it work. And kind of as a groomer, I have to go with the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? So I've never seen that happen. Typically, when I see cats that are matting faster, it's usually because the coat is damaged. And in that instance, sometimes I just recommend kind of starting over, or I will get them on a gentle bath and blow dry schedule more frequently to help the coat get healthier, as opposed to adding product that's just going to weigh it down, because that's what conditioner does, is it kind of coats the cuticle in a way. And so that's just not super my favorites. I see you guys are adding some of your favorites. Tracy is asking about using a flea shampoo, and if so, what do I recommend? So I'm currently grooming in New Jersey, and New Jersey actually has a restriction for groomers that you must have a pesticide applicator license in order to apply flea products on cats in a business setting. And unfortunately, there's not nearly enough groomers that know that this needs to happen. And so the state doesn't offer enough classes in order for you to get your license and then to renew. And so it kind of is this vicious cycle that it doesn't really happen. So to be honest, I refer my clients to their vet to get Capstar. And then I will use a kind of heavy, usually Chubb's Bars does it for me once they've gotten the Capstar, and then I get them on more of a regular schedule and then recommend that to their vet what product are they using for monthly preventative from now on, because every place is going to be a little bit different. It's for several years I have not seen frontline work at all, and so it kind of depends. And New Jersey is definitely a hotbed for fleas and ticks. So all of my clients are required to see their vet on a regular basis in order to be a client of mine. So I tend to see owners that are already taking those preventative steps. And so I usually don't see fleas very often. Although now that I say that, I'm going to jinx myself and I'll probably have like tons and tons of fleas in the next 2 weeks. So thanks, Tracy, for setting me up. Carrie, I don't want to speak on, so Carrie's asking about Tropiclean. Oh, you're a cat owner. That's wonderful. It is not my favorite. I think they have great dog products, and I think that some of their products can be a little perfumey, in my personal opinion. But I think it's kind of, every cat is a little bit different. I found that Chubb's bars work for the majority of my clients in all the salons that I've worked at along the East Coast. I just want to... Okay, so I just want to make sure that I got everybody. All right, perfect. And Nicole kind of got back to me about, closed, open, close. Yes, just about applying the conditioner. Like, to me, conditioner just doesn't work. I've tried it in all different fashions, and I just haven't found a way for it to really work for me unless I'm doing a like show coat and we're going somewhere that it's super, super dry. And like, usually when it's cold outside and the heat is on full blast, and then it's like you just like stuck your finger in a light socket and the static is everywhere. That's the kind of incident that I would tend to use those. Okay, so I want to move on to finishing products. And if you guys still have questions, feel free to post them in the comments. And if I don't get a chance to go back to them, I can always go back and look into the comments later and write my comments if I can. So anyway, so finishing products. So remember I said you do not want to have products that leave any residues behind, because I don't want them to ingest it. It's really important because cats are going to lick themselves. This is kind of completely different from the majority of dogs. A lot of dogs, if they lick themselves, are kind of limited to a few areas. Cats are licking themselves all over. They're, trying to eat their hair, things like that. So anytime that I'm using a product after the bath and blow dry, I have to be very, very careful about what it is, because I don't want them to ingest a good chunk of it. Again, I don't use detanglers. I had covered this in another video called Just Brush Outs. So if you go through the National Cat Groomers Facebook page under videos, it's called Just Brush Outs. I kind of went more in depth. I don't use detanglers. We have found that clean, degreased, and totally dry cat hair, those knots and clumps are going to slide right out so much more easily. Trust me, it is all in your prep work. Clumpy, dead coat wants to come out so badly, but ripping out dirty coat ahead of time is just going to tick the cat off. It's going to shorten their turkey timer, and you could have gotten a lot farther in the groom. You could have been much gentler on the cat's skin, and you will be much more thorough in the same time frame. So if you're struggling with working with cats that freak out on you, say in the bathtub, for the dryer, or when they're seemingly unpredictable, then make sure that you join me for tomorrow night's live video, what to do with a crazy cat. So no detangling sprays or products, clean and fresh coat. Now there are a few products that I will use depending on the coat and depending on the situation after the bath and blow dry. So kind of like I said, that super dry air, that staticky, there are a few anti-static sprays that Danelle and we used at the school with our cats, with our client cats. Coat Handler makes a very nice anti-static spray, and Davis makes a nice anti-static spray. So I've got a Davis spray here. There's cat hair all over it. I don't use it very often, but again, it's just that kind of, if I get to the very end and I find there's just a little bit of static, what I can do is just do a very, very light mist on a comb and then just kind of gently kind of go over the coat just a little bit. So remember, we just want to smooth out the wispies without adding too much product behind. Both of those sprays do a really, really nice job of only doing that little tiny bit. So we also want our cats to smell really good when they go home. Carrie J, you have read my mind, girlfriend. She said, do you use any perfumes, even cat safe products? That is what we were just about to talk about. So if you do want a little bit of scent behind, the National Cat Groomers and Danelle designed Catatonic, which is a finishing spray that is based on a similar product from the show world called Bayrum. It is a kind of nutmeg scent. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. It's not overpowering. It gives a little bit of shine and body to the coat without it leaving the coat greasy or stringy. And it doesn't weigh down the coat, which again is like super, super important. Oh my gosh, I love my Catatonic. I love when we do grooming shows because I get to like spray it on myself so that other people can smell it. And to be honest, I love that because then I smell like Catatonic all the time. If you have a client who's very sensitive with perfumes and products, then you can always leave it out. I just think it's kind of a nice little touch. I don't really recommend a lot of perfumes and colognes for cats. Again, really the least amount of product left behind, the better. Also, a lot of dog products have a tendency to contain a lot of essential oils, and cats can be very, very sensitive to specific essential oils. So I try to stay away from most of them just to err on the side of caution. I know there's a lot of differing opinions and information, so I don't want to go too deeply into essential oils, but I think it's really important for every groomer and every cat owner to do their own research and use what they feel is comfortable to use on their own cats. Remember, as a groomer and a business owner, we have to take additional precautions because of the liability that comes with working with other people's pets. So really briefly, I want to talk about waterless shampoos. Up front, I do not use them in my salon or with my cats. My main question with them has always been, where does the dirt go? Right? Maybe it's a mystery of science. But if you put shampoo on the coat, it helps to break up and trap the dirt, but then it gets rinsed off. Waterless shampoo only gets wiped off. I've literally had some groomers tell me they spray it off, they spray it on and wipe it with a rag. A rag? Do you tell your clients that? My clients pay me good money to solve their problems, and one of the big, main, glaring problems is that cats are dirty. They're greasy. They have excess dead coat, dandruff, dust from rolling around under the bed, all kinds of nasties. And then the cats want to snuggle up on our pillows. Blah. My job is to get them clean and beautiful while keeping them safe and well cared for. So back to waterless shampoos. I wouldn't use them ever as an all-over product. You're just leaving buildup behind and you're not solving the root of the problem. As a spot treatment, it's okay. So if I have a cat who releases a little bit of anal glands after the bath, like after I'm like all finished, I will use a little bit. We like the Pinodes powder, Pinodes Clubman's powder. They make a couple different versions. This is actually a gentleman's powder. And so use very, very little because it's actually slightly pink because it's flesh toned. But I just use a little tiny bit and I'll just kind of, wipe away any excess grossness. And I'll just use a little bit of the Pinodes powder because I really want the areas to be dry. I don't want them to be wet. Oh, excuse me. I also like to keep a roll of toilet paper at my station to wipe clean so I can clean everything up. And then again, I'll use that little touch of powder. So not a ton, just a little tiny bit, a little tiny pinch. If it's only in one little spot and if I cannot rebathe them or rebathe their tush for a reason, specifically if it's stress or timing, like their turkey timer is just done and it's not going to be the best choice for the cat to go back. But overall, every cat that comes into our salon and into my salon gets a bath. Every cat, every time. Young cats, old cats, fat cats, skinny cats, nervous cats, aggressive cats, everybody gets baths. Everybody. So I already talked about that. So I just want to go back before I move on to general cleaning products real quick to see if there's any other things. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, Nicole, you did mention about the Le Pooch F&T. It does have, so that's the thing. So yes, most products will have essential oils of some kind. You should only ever use what you feel comfortable using. Some essential oils are not nearly as, cats are not nearly as sensitive to them as others. I personally have used Le Pooch F&T for years and years and years on literally thousands of cats without any adverse reactions. Now, ingesting a product versus a topical application of a product is very different. And remember, perfumes and colognes are left behind on the coat, which could be leading to ingestion versus a shampoo that gets washed off right away. So that's also something you have to keep in mind with cats. So when I talk about essential oils and things in this particular context, I mean, one, the product should always be marketed as safe for cats. Remember, this is one, we have to rely on the manufacturer and the company to do their due diligence, as well as liability from a business owner perspective. So I would never, ever, ever use Dawn dish soap on my cat clients. I don't know why that's a thing. I understand that from way back when they didn't have access to great products, that you kind of had to use what you had. And the whole wildlife thing is a life or death situation, not a pet situation. And if you actually go back and ask the parent company of Dawn dish soap, they will tell you they do not recommend it. They don't recommend using it on pets. So for a company to say, don't use it, as a liability standpoint, that is really setting yourself up for something bad to happen. So even if you haven't had a problem with specific products, it is certainly not going to do you any favors if you do have a client come back and there's an issue or there's an eye problem or a skin irritation or something like that, for you to come back and say, oh, by the way, I used Dawn dish soap on your animal. That is just, to me, that's very unprofessional. And it's also a liability because the company specifically says don't do that. Tracy is asking about Davis Quick Dry prior to grooming. Again, I don't really like to use a lot of additional products, especially after the bath and blow dry. And that, to me, I haven't seen a huge difference with any kind of drying aids. So I know there's a variety of products, and you can certainly like test stuff out on your personal cats, but I probably wouldn't try it on client cats unless I knew absolutely for sure that there was no risk of ingestion. Or that they were totally safe for cats to be left on the coat. So that's kind of a different question to ask a manufacturer, is like, this is the context that I want to use it in. Would this, am I getting the stamp of approval from your company? So kind of a couple different questions. All right, so lastly, I want to talk about cleaning products. So we're speaking about what to use around other people's pets. We have to talk about using cleaning products. Thoroughly cleaning and disinfecting is super important to keep our personal cats and all of our client cats as safe as possible and to limit exposure to any illnesses. So I personally like Odoban, which is easily accessible in, I've seen it in Home Depot, Amazon, Walmart, main manufacturers. Wall Clipper Company also makes a product called Clinic Clip. I have no idea if this is backwards. Oh, it's not. This is lovely. Wall Clinic Clip is a great cleaner disinfectant product. What I like is it's not overly like chemically smelling. So if I'm cleaning a kind of a small area, and I know a lot of groomers, we work in smaller areas, you don't want anything that's like aerosol in these small unventilated spaces. No, no, no. So I really like this. It is a clipper blade sanitizer disinfectant. It even says like all the stuff it kills on it. I love that. You have to make sure to follow the directions to make sure that you are cleaning and disinfecting what you would want. So we got Odoban, Wall Clinic Clip. I also like the Davis Dakil, D-A-K-I-L. Those are all cleaners and disinfectants. So you have to make sure that you spray and wipe clean with paper towel. Then you spray again and let it sit to disinfect. So every product is going to have a different set time depending on what it is that you're trying to kill. So for example, I'm going to try to see if I can read this. Of course, it's like, I know that it's, Yeah, so they say like if you just let it sit for 10 seconds, it's going to kill specific microorganisms. But if you want the contact time to kill something more serious than that, it needs a 2-minute contact time. It might need a 10-minute contact time. So in order for me to really kind of kill all of the zoonotic diseases and anything that's going to transfer in between my clients in general, it's usually a 10-minute sit time. Okay. So what I also want is I also want products that are not going to damage my grooming equipment, my tools, and my large equipment. So because I use stainless steel tabletops, I want to make sure that it's not going to cause any rust. It's not going to damage my clippers, my blades, things like that. So I don't want to be like having my clipper blades or anything sit overnight in a product. It should really only sit and then I should wipe it afterwards. So what I like to do in order to remind myself to keep cleaning and disinfecting between everything is I keep multiple spray bottles and paper towels at each of my grooming stations. So I have my bathing station, my grooming station, my drying station. I have an after bath station also. And what I do is I keep spray bottles and paper towels at every station. So that way, when I'm finished with that station, I'll pick up the cat. I will kind of hold them away and I'll spray with my product, wipe it with paper towels, throw them away, and then I'll mist the station so that it can sit for 10 minutes and I'm going to take the cat to my next station. That way, I've already cleaned that station. So by the time I have to come back to it, I'm not like, oh no, I have to move on to my next cat, but my station is still a mess and there isn't time to let the disinfectant sit. Don't do that. So my main thing is that, so in between every station use for each cat, I will clean my station. And then between each cat, I will sweep up and just kind of do a quick once over to make sure everything is good to go in between cats. That's a good way for me to kind of mentally separate between each of my pets. So I'm a cat exclusive groomer now, but I have groomed dogs. I've been grooming for 15 years. And I did this with my dog clients also, is in between every animal, I would sweep up. I don't like to vacuum the noise, I don't like that. So in between, it was just a good way for me to kind of have 30 seconds to like decompress and separate. So if I got riled up or if I was frustrated working with a pet and that pet was finished, I wouldn't take that energy onto the next pet. So that kind of gives me a nice separation. I will also keep bleach in my cleaning product arsenal in case if I have any cats that I notice suspicious looking skin lesions, aka ringworm. If that is the case, then I will clean like normal. Then I'll put together a 1-part bleach to 10-part water solution and I will spray everything. Then I will let it sit at least 10 minutes. At least 10 minutes, usually about 15, 20. I'll kind of leave the room at that point while everything is sitting just because, you don't want to be around that much bleach. Then I'll wipe everything down with water. I'll let it dry, and then I'll do another round of my disinfectant. When you're working with bleach, you should not use it to clean up cat pee, and you shouldn't use it in lieu of a general disinfectant. It can be super, super hard on your equipment and tools, so I only use it in cases where I have any suspicion for something like ringworm. Finally, if you are using the diluted bleach solution, you do not want the dried solution on anything a cat could lick. So that's why I said that I go back and I kind of wipe everything down, I rinse it, and then I clean again before I'm actually going to use it. So the last stage of my cleaning procedures is deodorizing. This is also really important to me, and I get tons of compliments from my clients on how clean my business smells. It doesn't smell like cat pee, doesn't smell like cat litter, anything like that. And I'm totally obsessed with the Thornell products. So this is one of their trial sizes. This is the one I like. Whoa. It's called KOE, Kennel Odor Eliminator. Really, really wonderful. I also like their LOE product, which is Laundry Odor Eliminator. So I use a little bit of that when I'm washing like towels with cat pee, and it just like zaps all the cat pee. You have to spray the product directly on where the smell is coming from. So cat pee, you have to spray it if it's like on the floor, if it's in like a nook or a cranny or somewhere, you have to get it right on the smell. But honestly, it like takes everything away. It's wonderful. They also have, I believe they have one that goes for the air. Oh, Jackie, you're with me. And yes, Thornell's amazing. Maybe Jackie, you can tell me which is the product that's for the air. I thought there was one that was like, You know what I'm talking about? Like, not like Febreze. Like, we don't want to use Febreze, but I thought there was one of them that's an air. There's a couple different ones. So what's really, really nice about Thornell is that if you contact them, so it's THORNELL. If you go on their website, you can request samples as a pet professional. And they also have like an introductory, like an introductory package where you get like a great deal on a bunch of stuffs, and everything is AOE. That's what it is, the AOE, which is like animal odor eliminator. And I believe they also say that that one is actually safe to use on pets, but I haven't kind of gotten to that step yet. But I mainly use the KOE in my salon and products. Dawn is asking, how is Thornell if you have asthma? I haven't heard any complaints. It is not a perfumey product. It is not a cover-up. It is to eliminate the odor entirely and make sure that it doesn't come back. So to me, I think it does really well. And what I will also do is anytime I'm spraying, like, so I have my caddy shack. That to me is my smallest space where I'm cleaning, and I don't want to be inhaling all that stuff. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the vacuum before I start spraying anything down. That way I'm not sticking my head where all the fumes are of any product. I don't want to do that. So I really, really like it. It's wonderful. And I only found out about them not too long ago. I was using another product called Urinoff. I really like, they have these absorb it up pads. And what I'll do is they are the perfect size to go inside of a carrier. They're like long and skinny. And to me, it reminds me of like puppy pads on crack. Like, they're so awesome. They like soak up any liquid and they turn it into like this like crystal stuff inside the pad. So that way, if a cat like pees on the way home, it just sucks it all out. It's not going to be like, they're not going to be sitting in pee, which is kind of gross. So I really like Urinoff products too. I have a harder time getting them, but the Thornell products you can get through Amazon, which is really like, I shop Amazon for everything. So that's fun. So anyway, a little is going to go a long way because these are all concentrated products. So really pay attention to how much you're putting in the bottles, because I mean, I've had people who used way too much of disinfectants, and then it's like, you can tell that the product is like way too harsh for what we're trying to use it. And sometimes those disinfectant products, it's like a 256 part water to 1 part product, which is like this amount. So what I'll do is I will use, they're called jiggers, and they're like for bartending, where you can do like half an ounce, I think, on one side and 3/4 of an ounce on the other side, I think it is, or 1.5, I think. And that way I can go by ounce instead of, like by tablespoon or something like that. Like, it is literally like little tiny bits. So that is going to wrap up tonight's video training on the do's and don'ts on products. Oh, you know what? Before I go, I completely forgot. I apologize. Not quite done yet. Stay right there. I wanted to quickly talk about cat ears and eyes. And I guess they can kind of go somewhere between bathing and finishing products, because they're still kind of cleaning, but it's after the bath. So anyway, we primarily use saline solution when we're cleaning cat eyes. We don't want to use, I do not like using the facial shampoos on my cat faces. I do not think that a lot of facial shampoos are, sorry, I have a motorcycle driving by. It is a beautiful day out. It's been really lovely weather here, luckily. I do not like a lot of facial products because I don't think that they are as hypoallergenic as I would like them to be. And you can kind of tell because they're very, very scented. They're very heavily scented. And so I just don't like using those. So what we use is more kind of water. Like, after I get the cat out of the bath, I will get them out, towel dry them, and then I'll use that kind of a little bit of a damp towel to just kind of scrub around their face. And I will also use, so we use saline solution. That's what we use. You can get it very easily at a pharmacy, so drugstore, CVS, Walgreens, even probably your grocery store, wherever you can buy contact lens solution. It should be in the same section, like the same aisle. It is not contact lens solution. It is specifically called saline solution, and it's pretty much just like stripped down so that there's nothing in there that could potentially cause a problem. So we just use that with cotton balls to kind of just wipe around the eyes. I also like Vetericyn it's in a blue bottle, and they make a feline eye wash that is just wonderful. So that I will use in between grooms, or if they're super, super gunky. So you know those like solid white Persians that get just like black, like it's so disgusting. Sometimes I have to sit there and like scrub it if I have to break up all that gunk, and then the eye gets irritated, and that's just no good. So what I found is that the Vetericyn feline eye wash will gently break up all that gunk and then it also soothes the areas around the eye. It can get into the eye. And it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful product. I wish they sold it by the gallon. They don't, but I buy it through Amazon. Vetericyn. And Bertha had asked a little while ago, am I going to list all the products that I've mentioned? Yes, once I pop off, because for some reason it's not letting me add any comments. I don't know. This is kind of a weird program, I guess, but look how nice this like picture looks. Look how nice I look. You know, it's all fun. And I can see your comments, so that's good. Also, I've made a recent discovery that I'm very excited about. So if any of you own Persians, especially white Persians, you know, so one, getting their gunky eyes clean can be a battle, but two, keeping them clean is also a battle. I mean, it's kind of frustrating to have to clean their eyes like every single day, right? It's like the cobbler's kids have no shoes. You know, I'm a cat groomer and I love my cats, but I'm just like, oh, like how often do I have to bathe you? So anyway, I got my parents an exotic short hair, and she has, you know, she kind of gets gunky eyes. And so their vet recommended this product, and they said they really liked it. And I said, oh, well, you know, maybe I'll check it out. And so it's called Lid and Lash. It is a veterinary product. However, you can get it on Amazon. You know me, I love my Amazon Prime. And I actually think it has kind of a aloe type of base. And what I like is that, so typically what we would do on our white Persian cats is that we would clean their eyes with the saline solution. We would, you know, pat it dry as much as possible. And then we would use a little tiny bit of an eye powder and press it into the hair underneath the eye. And so what that does is it coats the hair follicle to prevent future stains from seeping into the hair follicle and staining it, because that's what happens. In order to stain it, it has to sit there long enough. So this kind of it's a little bit of an almost like, I don't want to say oily texture, but it's more like aloe vera. Like if you've ever like, you know, if you know like aloe vera for like your skin, it feels a little bit more like that. And it cleans the eyes brilliantly. And then I think it just slightly coats the hair follicles, because I've noticed it will keep my white Persian with disgusting eyes clean for like 3 days. So to me, this is like miracle product, absolute miracle product. I'm very excited about it because it's not about, and I can see Griet, Griet, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Griet is asking about removing the brownish tear stains. So here's the thing. Once the hair follicle is already stained, there's pretty much very, very little that you can do to remove the brown staining. The best thing to do is to keep it clean moving forward so that the hair can grow out and that the new hair doesn't get stained. Because once it's kind of soaked into the hair follicle, you know, you would have to use a very harsh product in order to get it out. And that's just not possible being so close to the eyes. And being cats are so sensitive to a lot of products, and you don't want to use anything that's obviously going to be too harsh for their skin in addition to their eyes. So once they're already brown and stained, just kind of keeping it clean until it grows out. Now, if you're showing, you can certainly use powders to temporarily cover it up, but you don't want to go too crazy. However, really just that regular eye cleaning, like if we were getting, so we showed C2, who was a beautiful white Persian. We showed her a bit when she was a little older. And white Persian, she would get, I mean, black. Her eyes would look black if we wait like over the weekend and we weren't at school. You know, she lived in the building. We'd come back and on Monday they'd be like disgusting. So we had to, in order to prep for show, we couldn't let her get gross. So we had to clean her eyes every day. And it's just no fun. So anyway, so I really, really like this product. I would not use this on my cat if I was about to go to show, because like I said, it does leave that little bit of residue. Luckily, cats are not licking their eyeballs anytime soon. So that I don't have as many kind of qualms about as I would for something all over their body. So Lid and Lash has been a miracle saver for me. Also, real quick, I just want to talk about ear cleaning products. My favorite right now is the Le Pooch Metacetic ear and skin cleanser. And Danelle usually uses just plain rubbing alcohol because it will totally break up all the gunk in the ear super, super fast. We do not use Q-tips. We don't want to be jamming anything down in the ear canal. So we'll just use more of the product to kind of saturate the gross, let them shake, get all that gunk out, use the cotton balls to just kind of wipe and clean up. The thing with any alcohol-based cleaner, you cannot use it if the ear has any irritation or open wounds, because it's obviously just going to like sting like crazy. So I started using the Le Pooch Metacetic ear and skin cleanser, and it is totally okay for those things. So it is not an alcohol-based ear cleaner, but it does have a drying agent, because that's why you don't just use water in the ears, because you need something that it's going to dry after you use it. So it's not just wet and sitting in the ear canal. So I really like this one. And I had this cat come in who had severe ear infections. He was being seen by a vet, but I mean like I don't know how my ear looks, the entire base of the cat's ear, like the skin, was irritated, and it was inflamed, and it was scabby. Oh, it was so awful. This poor cat, he hated getting his ears cleaned, according to mom. And I think she had said he was being treated for it was some sort of ear medication that was getting in. So his ears were gunky from the medication. Oh, it was so gross. So of course I wanted to help him out, because I think that you need to clean the ears before you put the medication in, so that just like using a medicated shampoo, you have to clean it first so that the medication can get to where you're trying to treat. So I used this product, and I used a tiny little bit just to see, because if it hurt him, I wasn't going to use it anymore. He rubbed up in me. He let me clean all of his ears. Oh, he loved the whole thing. I got them spick and span so he can go home and mom could treat it, and he just loved the whole thing. So that really sold the Le Pooch ear cleaner to me, that it worked so effectively on that kind of gunky, gross stuff. So that is going to wrap up tonight's video training on the do's and don'ts on products for grooming cats. So again, if you have any comments or questions, you can still add them here in the comments, and I will try to address as many as I can once I've kind of stopped. If you are watching this as a recording, you can also continue to add your comments, and we will still try to get you your answers. Tomorrow's video is going to be a doozy. You are not going to want to miss this. What to do with a crazy cat. So if you are already grooming cats and you are struggling with cats that are aggressive, or if you're wanting to get into cat grooming, but you're worried about what to do if they freak out, then tomorrow's video is just for you. So make sure to join me live tomorrow. It is going to be 1 hour later than tonight's video. Sorry, I just had a quick video. I want to make sure there wasn't anything going on. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me live. I really appreciate you guys. Have been fantastic, and I will see you tomorrow. So it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. What to do with a crazy cat. Bye.